Hello everyone, it's Ngozi and welcome back to our channel, Nnena and Ngozi. It's been a while since I've done a sit down video with y'all. It's been a while. Oh my god, I missed it so much. I know we do a lot of lives, but going through a lot of our content, a lot of our older videos, y'all still like the sit down video. So in this video, I'm going to talk about things you should know before moving to Houston, Texas. If you're considering moving to Houston, Texas in 2025, you have to watch this video. Just like it. You're gonna like this video. Make sure you check out our Houston, Texas playlist, subscribe to this channel, and let's get into it. It's about 3.5 years since I've been living in Houston. In August is gonna make 3.5 years. I moved here, for people that are not, are new, I moved here 3 years ago from Northeast New Jersey. 3 suitcases, on a whim, a couple of weeks before, just decided I was tired, was thinking about it, but just made the move February 2022. And I'm not gonna lie, it hasn't been easy. I know there's a lot of conversation about, loneliness, making friends, and I think that this is something that people definitely need to consider when thinking about moving to a new city, basically starting all over again. Everyone doesn't have the personality for it. We always recommend on this channel to move somewhere where you know at least a few people, even if it's lightly, you have a few distant relatives, because starting all over is not easy, especially if you're not moving for like a job or you're going to school, like an in-person job, not a remote job, where you're going to be seeing people and it's going to be easy to meet people. A lot of people struggle. I talk about when I first moved, being in Facebook groups, and people were saying they've been in Houston for a few years, they don't have any friends, during the pandemic. It was just a different time for everybody. I stress that a lot because Houston's a very populous city, 4th most populated city in America, projected to be number 3 in the next few years. A lot of people are moving here. And I think it's important that a lot of people understand what they're signing up for and they set realistic expectations. Houston is a large city, has a lot to offer, but at the end of the day, it's not for everyone. That's just the truth. I talk about my reasons for moving to Houston. When I first visited for the first time, October 2020, I just felt like I could live here. Like I liked the energy, I liked the vibe. It just felt like home for me at that moment. For you all that are new, my twin sister lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. I visited several times before moving here, and I would love to be in the same city as her, but I could not see myself living in Charlotte, North Carolina. It is too slow for me, and they don't have a Zara. All right, it's way too slow for me. So I chose Houston and I don't have any regrets. But that's not to say that it's perfect and there aren't some things that I wish I would have known moving in, or would have been more aware of. I have a few videos about what I wish I knew before moving to Houston, Texas. One of them is our most watched video, so I'll link all those videos down below. But I go through a list of things that people should be aware of. The weather. Right now it's raining. I don't know if y'all can hear it. It just came out of nowhere early today. I was out with my girlfriend at Toulouse. Right when we got there, it just started pouring down. People were all outside, had to come in. It was a mess. It was a mess. So Houston's weather is very up and down. We have floods, we have a lot of rain. It gets extreme weather in terms of heat. It gets really hot. This year it got actually cold. Like it snowed this year. I've never been here when it snowed. It snowed this year in January. My Nana was actually here, and the mall, everything was shutting down early. We were out. We had to rush home. The weather here is very interesting. So if you're someone that doesn't like extreme heat, I always say maybe Dallas or somewhere be a little better. It's a bit milder. Houston does get very hot, but I don't like the heat. I like the heat. I don't mind it. It gets very humid. The cost of living is still pretty affordable, but it is going up. I'm seeing things go up every year, so it's definitely not as affordable as it used to be. They claim a lot of us, the people from outside, are making it more expensive. There's a lot of bugs. The water, the flooding, all that stuff brings a lot of bugs. That could be an issue for some people. I had that issue with my first apartment. And there's also, a lifestyle. And I really want to touch on this. There's a lot of conversation about this, and I think this is something that a lot of people stress on when they think of Houston. A lot of people think of Houston as think of clubbing, partying, being outside. People were coming to Houston for spring break this year. Spring break. Houston? We don't have no beaches. So Houston is known for that party scene, and I'm not going to take that away. Houston has that. If you want to be out every day till 2-3 o'clock, you can do it in Houston. Countless after hours, countless clubs. Every day a new one is opening. I can't keep up. I have so many new clubs, so many new after hours. It is here. But I always stress that that is not all Houston has to offer. There's so much more to Houston, Texas than going to the club and partying. It's here. I'm not going to deny that. We have some of the best nightlife, I would say, in America, especially, you know, when it comes to the black community, the Nigerian community. We have a lot of things that cater to us that sets us apart. But Houston has all three major teams. The Rockets are getting good now. We have the Astros, baseball, we have the Texans. Houston has is a hub for oil and gas. We have the OTC conference every year here. It's been holding for over 30 something years. You know, so we have a lot of industries here, Exxon, all these big companies, a lot of stuff going on in Houston. We have a very big medical center, one of the biggest in the nation. You know, we have University of Baylor Medical School is located in Houston. The regular college is in Waco, but the medical school is here. The medical center has a lot of big hospitals. You have, you know, Memorial Hermann, you have HCA, you have Houston Methodist, so many big industries. So the healthcare field is here. And hospitality is big because we have so many restaurants. Like, it's like every day one is opening up. My list, I keep saying I'm gonna make the PDF for y'all. No more talking until they get done this summer. My list of spots just keeps growing and growing. There's always a new spot. At the same time, things are opening, things do close. Like I've seen so many not many so many, but a good number of restaurants open and close in these last 3 years I've been here. So, you know, things are always opening. We're waiting on Enish to open. You know, they have one in Dubai. I think a few in Dubai, London, you know. There's always something new. And I think that's one of the things I really love about living in Houston, that there's always something new coming to be excited about. There's always something, oh my gosh, this is about to happen. Like, it's like you can't really get bored. Mine is clubbing. It's not even just clubbing, like real activities, real events. AFROTECH was held last year here in November, and everyone was hating. I had a live on that. I'll link down below. This year it's the last week of October, I believe the 27th to the 31st. They coming back this year after being in California initially, Austin for a few years. Nowhere can match Houston's energy. Like, Houston is a vibe. There's a reason why they're coming back. They had over 35,000 attendance, their highest ever. Like, it was a vibe. AFROTECH week. The haters gonna hate. I'm giving y'all warning, so y'all want to come, instead of hating on the outside, just get everything ready so y'all could be here the last week of October. There's always something happening. We have the rodeo that happens here every year in March, concerts. You know, I just think that when I see a lot of the content about Houston being a party city, I get it, but I just don't like that being like, especially in our community, as if like that's all we want to do or that's all there is to do, because I just feel like that doesn't give Houston like, you know, any justice. There's so much to do here. One of the reasons why I really feel like I enjoy my time in Houston, or I still advocate for people to move to Houston with realistic expectations, is that I feel like Houston has a space for everyone here. It's super diverse. You can find almost anything you're looking for. Everyone has their communities, different ethnicities. There's literally a place for everyone. And I feel like only few cities in America can boast of that, where everyone has their own equal footing. They have their own neighborhoods, not neighborhoods, but they have their own communities, their own spots, their own lounges. It's really somewhere where if you're open and you're expecting and you're someone who is, you know, willing to put in the work, you can have a great experience here. I know it's not for everyone. I'm not here to advocate and tell everyone to move, but like I said, you have to be real about yourself and have realistic expectations. I'm going to get into the most important part, because I know this is what, you know, a lot of the girlies be thinking when they come into Houston. I'm going to move to Houston and find my husband. I've told y'all, stop thinking that. Stop thinking that, like, nowhere is guaranteed. There's a lot of things that come into these matters of the heart. And, you know, my personal advice I've been given recently is that if that's your priority when relocating to a new city, I personally wouldn't suggest moving to any major city. No big cities. A lot of people pit, you know, like Houston to Dallas. Dallas is still a top 10, or is it number 2? It's still a large city. Dallas, I have my experiences there. Like, it's the same thing. Of course, I do understand Houston has a little bit more distractions. There's more of a nightlife. There's more, you know, things going on. I make a joke with my friends, like, if you can't find your man in Houston, there's too many spots you can go to try and track him down. Versus Dallas, you maybe have a couple of spots you're gonna find him if he's outside. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna deny the fact that Houston has a lot going on, but at the same time, these things happen everywhere. It's a major city issue. I don't think it's just specific to Houston. Yes, there are certain things that make it maybe worse than Houston, but it's a trend with major cities. People are worried about their careers, socializing, having fun, going to stuff. People are not as focused on loving relationships or settling down into something serious. That's just something that comes with big cities, period. You know, so I always tell people, if they're really looking primarily for that, consider a mid-sized city. Don't go to large cities. Like, you know, for example, a mid-sized city would be like Waco, El Paso, like the Midlands. Like, go to a mid-sized city. It's not gonna have as much to do. You're not going to have the same experience. You're not going to have as much food to pick from. You're not going to have as many things to do. But that's also why people be a little bit more serious, because they have less distractions and they're bored. You know, sometimes, especially that other gender, they need to get bored. I've learned a lot of men have to get bored before they start taking things seriously. They're a little bit too distracted and too stimulated in a place like Houston. But I say it all the time, nothing is guaranteed anywhere. Understand women, especially of a certain age, you want to increase your options. You want to, meet more people, but always go on with an open mind, understanding that nowhere is easy. The place you're going to, women are still struggling. Every woman is not married. So obviously there's challenges. And understand that no matter where you go, not just related to dating relationships, you get kind of what you put in. That's how I want to end this video. I think a lot of times we relocate, we move somewhere new because we want to start all over. And moving legit is a life hack. I'm not even going to lie. Sometimes you just need to get rid of certain people, things, habits, attachments, strongholds. You want to just go somewhere new. But if you don't also put in the work and make the changes, you're just going to end up with the same results you had where you're coming from eventually. So when considering moving to a new place, wanting to start over, there's a lot that you have to put into consideration. You're not running away. You don't use it as just purely escapism. Remember that you have to do the work. You have to do the hard work no matter where you are. I think about moving here, how many people I had to go out my way to meet, to build community. Like, it was not easy. And I don't know if I could do this again, to be honest. Like, it was a lot. Finding a hair stylist, going through like how many hair salons, finding a nail salon, hair salon, food that I like, getting into a routine, just learning things, grocery store. It takes time. And I think the moral of the story is that if you're relocating anywhere, you're moving, have an open mind. If you're not ready to have an open mind, to be honest, just stay where you are, because you're not going to have the experience you want. Nowhere is perfect. Everywhere has its own set of challenges. I do believe that certain places are better than others, and I do believe in sometimes you're just needing a new environment to just, stimulate you, and just sometimes you just need to move. I'm not gonna act like where you live doesn't matter, because I know how I was feeling living in New Jersey. It's just not the whole picture. There's other factors that influence your experience wherever you are. You have to put in the effort, try and build community, try and meet people, try and get involved. Put yourself out there and just pray for the best. Houston is changing. I'm not gonna lie. It's changing. Like I always say, my parents don't live in Houston. I can always go somewhere else. But as of now, I'm fine where I am. I don't have any issues, any major issues. I don't see myself going anywhere anytime soon. But things can always change. I try and have an open mind when it comes to these type of things. But let me know if you're considering moving to Houston, Texas. Let me know down below why. What is your number one reason why you want to move to Houston, Texas? Is it the food? Is it the weather? Is it the lifestyle? What is your reasons? And we'll finish the conversation down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share. Check out the links down below in the description box, and I'll see you on our next one. Bye.